WHMB TV 40 presents the high school football game of the week. Today, in final sectional action, the Carmel Greyhounds take on the Kokomo Wildcats at Walter Cross Field. Today's game is sponsored in part by Schaffner's Kitchen Distributors, McCool's Flooring Outlet, The Op Shop, McClintock's Quality Furniture, Kelvy Press, Anderson Land and Title, Gowdy Brothers Boilers, Martin Brothers TV and Appliance, Spellman and Company, Rentmaster, First Farmers, Carmel Welding, and Holder Mattress. And now, here are your announcers, John Fox and Howard Kilman.
Welcome to Kokomo High School, home of the Wildcats. And tonight, the Carmel Greyhounds play at the Kokomo Wildcats. Howard Kelman and John Fox, we have just had the opening kick. Carmel kicked it into the end zone. It is a first down for Kokomo. Kirby across the 35 to the 40, 42-yard line. Charlie Kirby, the fullback. Kokomo started at the 20. On the first play from scrimmage, they pulled the Statue of Liberty again, gave it to Dondre Johnson. He gained 13 yards. Now on the second play from scrimmage, Charlie Kirby gains 8 yards to the 41. It's 2nd and 2. John, this is a big one.
It certainly is, Howard. We talked about it before we took the air. Carmel coming in here at 9-1. Jim Belden has announced his retirement. Kokomo obviously 10-0. They'd like to keep that winning streak intact.
Mike Moore is the quarterback. Gives it to Kirby, and he has the first down to about the 44-yard line. Charlie Kirby is 6 foot, 190-pound senior. Kokomo 10-0. Carmel 9-1. Both having great years. Kokomo's first unbeaten regular season since 1964.
Outstanding season for the Kokomo Wildcats. Carmel, their only loss to Ben Davis, the final regular season game of the year, Howard.
And this is Jim Belden's final year as head coach of the Greyhounds. Dondre Johnson, 50, 45, and tripped up at the 33-yard line.
Boy, I'm really looking forward to watching Dondre Johnson carry the pigskin tonight. That last carry, Howard, 23 yards. Dondre's amassed 223 carries, 1,791 yards so far this season.
24 yards and a first down. Nick Olson made the tackle. So a first down for the Wildcats. No score. 10:20 to go, opening quarter. Ball at the 34. Mike Moore is the quarterback. Moore keeps it. What a fake, inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line. Among those in on the stop, Ben Hoagland.
I like the razzle-dazzle so far exhibited by the offensive unit of Coach Willard Rice's Kokomo Wildcats. They're keeping the Carmel defense guessing, and so far, Kokomo has got a good sustained drive. We're just underway in the first quarter, 9:44 to play first quarter, no score, but Kokomo down deep in Carmel territory.
Call it 2nd and 3. Kokomo ranked 4th. Moore barking him out. Gives it to Johnson. First down and more. Down to the 15-yard line. Where he's brought down by Todd Wright. 11 yards for Dondre Johnson. Dondre Johnson coming in at rush for 1,791 yards and 25 TDs.
And that's an 8-point average per carry, Howard. That's a lot of yards. Dondre Johnson actually got brought down by his own man on that last play, kind of tripped up over his own man.
He is 6'1", 200 pounds. Moore to Johnson. Down to the 11, maybe the 10-yard line. Upended there by Chad Whitlock.
Also in there, number 33, the linebacker, Eric Hedgegaard. Hedgegaard, 6 foot 185, and a senior. This is probably the biggest game since 1985 for the Kokomo Wildcats when they last played in a sectional championship game. That year in '85, Howard, the Wildcats leveled Jay County 34-7, and obviously this is Kokomo's biggest game probably since back in 1965. I'll elaborate on that in a little bit.
All right, John, 2nd and 4 for the Wildcats from the 11. Kirby, he's in, touchdown! Charlie Kirby, 11 yards for the score. The 6-foot, 190-pound senior. An 80-yard drive for the Wildcats.
Boy, nice hole in the middle there, opened up by number 62, Matt Long, the 6-foot, 225-pound center, and also by the quick guard, number 75, Terrence Tharp, the 5'11", 250-pound senior. They opened up a gaping hole, and Kirby waltzed through it from 11 yards out, Howard.
Josh Bunch is in for the extra point. Kick has the distance. It is good. So Josh Bunch kicks the extra point. 8:31 to go, first quarter. We'll pause for these words. If you could do that and let me know on the breaks, I could take this off because this and Austin Coos will be kicking off for Kokomo. The Wildcats with a 7-0 lead, and there is Coos's kick. It is a very, very short kick taken by one of the up men for Carmel, and the Greyhounds will have excellent field position. Grant Eccles picked up the football, number 61.
That kind of looked like a can of corn there. They've got a 1st and 10 now on about their own 43. That last scoring drive for the Kokomo Wildcats, 8 plays, 80 yards, time of possession 3 minutes, 39 seconds. Johnson, 4 carries, 50 yards. Kirby, 3 carries, 23 yards, and a TD.
And it was an 80-yard drive. On first down, here is Shannon Polk. Down to the 50 and out of bounds at the far sideline. Dennis Morgan in there to make the stop. Shannon Polk, and keep your eyes on him, the tailback of 5'10", 175-pound junior for the Greyhounds.
Polk has carried the ball 171 times coming into this evening's action for 1,176 yards. He averages almost 7 yards per carry. We've got a penalty out on the field, Howard.
Personal foul, I believe.
Personal foul against the Wildcats.
And they'll mark it off against the Wildcats.
Great crowd on hand tonight. I look over on the Kokomo side where the press box is. I look farther across the field. Carmel's got a good contingent. Very chilly, cold night here at Kokomo at Walter Cross Field.
Personal foul against the Wildcats. First down for the Greyhounds at the Kokomo 32. Kokomo leading 7-0. Travis Meek is the quarterback for the Greyhounds. Puts it on the ground. Polk again. Polk has a first down inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line. And Polk finally brought down by Nick Longworth.
That's a 13-yard carry for Polk. And Polk last week had over 100 yards at halftime in that game against Broad Ripple. So he's a very explosive runner and can open up the game. Both teams, Kokomo and Carmel, possess 1,000-yard rushers on a season coming into tonight's action.
Okay, Carmel 9-1, ranked 6th. First down from the 19-yard line. He's down to the 15 to 10. He's still on his feet. And Shannon Polk finally brought down at about the 3. 16 yards.
And of that 16 yards, Howard, I'd imagine he probably got about a dozen of them just by second and third effort.
It's a windy night. Jim Belden retiring as a coach and as a teacher at the age of 57 after 33 years as a head coach. Head coach at Westfield, Noblesville, and Carmel. First and goal to go from the 3. Polk again. He's in for the touchdown. Give the ball to Shannon Polk. And the Greyhounds march up and down the field, as did the Wildcats.
Well, there was a lot of conversation in the press box before this game started as to whether it be a defensive struggle or an offensive ball game. Right now, here in the early going, I've got to say an offensive ball game. Let's take a look at the replay there as he goes right off of the left tackle, keeps the legs churning, and he's in for six, the first six of the game, Shannon Polk.
Kyle Alonso in for the extra point. It is 7-6, Kokomo. 6:53 in the quarter. He gets it away, and the kick is good. We are tied at 7, 6:53 to go, opening quarter. We'll be back after these messages.
Choice when you're looking for a great filling meal without all that fat. At Subway, we pile on all your choice of fresh veggies, and along with some choice fresh meat and our famous fresh baked bread. So if you're looking for a delicious sandwich without all that fat, Subway's the right place. 2 locations in Kokomo, Dixon Square and the Markland Mall, and also on State Road 22 in Greentown. That's Subway, where fresh is the taste.
6:53 to go, opening quarter. We're tied at 7. And Kyle Alonso will be kicking off for Carmel. As he tees up the football at the 40. Well, Jim Belden thought it would be a low-scoring game, but we're 7-7, and we have not even played half the first quarter. Jim Belden's career record, 281, 79, and 2. And a good kick. It's taken at the 4. He's across the 15. Lawrence Yarbrough running it back and down there.
We're tied at 7-7 with 6:48 remaining here in the first quarter. That last scoring drive was 4 plays, 57 yards. Time of possession for Carmel, a minute 25. Polk 4 carries, 42 yards, 1 TD, 1 penalty on that drive for 15 yards. Both teams 12 offensive plays, 8 first downs so far by both teams in this quarter. Do you need a CEO for your office? Call Corporate Edge Office Supplies because we're concerned in helping you with your bottom line. CEO's promise to your business is guaranteed pricing and service. That's Corporate Edge Office Supplies.
First down from the 16, and Carmel was looking for that play. Austin Coos, the ball carrier, and he's thrown for a yard loss, John.
Good defense there by Carmel, anticipating that play as Coos tried to get outside, but nothing doing. Carmel very sticky on defense. We mentioned Carmel's size, too. They're big across that defensive front. They average about 225 pounds. And defensively, boy, Carmel's also big there, averaging around 215, 220.
This is for the Sectional 4 Class 5A championship. The pass to the right side is complete. Aaron Alexander across the 20 to the 21-yard line where he's brought down. That's going to bring up third down and about 5. The stop was made by Brandon Ackley.
Looking at Kokomo, a lot of their offense has been on the ground this year with Dondre Johnson, as I mentioned, 1,791 yards, averaging 8 yards per carry. As far as receiving, their leading receiver is Alexander, and Alexander's been able to grab 17 receptions for 325 yards.
Third down and 5. The pitch to Johnson. He's got the first down and more, and finally tackled out of bounds close to the 40-yard line. The stop was made by Samuel Morris. It was third down and 6, 17 yards and a first down for Dondre Johnson, the 6'1", 200-pound senior, John.
On the replay, you see Dondre Johnson get outside. One of the Carmel tacklers trying an arm tackle. He breaks that, and a big 17-yard pickup there for Dondre off left tackle.
Willard Rice in his 6th year as head coach of the Wildcats, his 23rd year as a head coach, also a head coach at Eastern. Johnson again, this time to the 39-yard line. Todd Wright made the stop, so he picks up a few. It'll be second down.
Well, taking a look at these Carmel Greyhounds under Coach Jim Belden over the years, he has coached them to 4 out of their 5 state championship titles. The other one, Dick Dullahan, longtime coach at Ben Davis, was at Carmel when Carmel won their other state championship. And as I mentioned, one of the bigger games for Kokomo in a long while here tonight.
Under Belden, Carmel won state championships in 80, 81, 86, and 89, and he wants to go out with one this year. Back to pass is Moore. His pass, incomplete. The intended receiver, Aaron Alexander. And the interesting thing about the Wildcats, you never know what they're going to do offensively. Last week, those Statue of Liberty plays, they pulled it on the first play from scrimmage tonight as well.
A lot of pressure being applied by Carmel, and that particular situation, the quarterback, Travis Meek, had to get rid of the ball fairly quickly.
I asked Willard Rice about his club. He said our players are very dedicated and they're very team-oriented. It's 3rd and 8 from the 39. The back's in the eye. Moore back to throw. A little swing to the right pass, right side to Johnson. But he is going to be stopped shy of the first down. So that'll bring up 4th down for the Wildcats.
That'll bring on the punting unit now for the Kokomo Wildcats, and their punter is Mike Sargent. He's a 5'9", 180-pound senior.
Mike Sargent, Shannon Polk, Sam Morris. Back for Carmel. There's Mike Sargent, little high snap. He gets the kick away. That's taken by Polk. Polk out of bounds at the far sideline at around the 45-yard line.
I'd like to tell you about the fine folks at Subway. Right now, the right choice when you're needing a great filling meal without all the fat, it's Subway, where they pile on all the choice fresh veggies and your choice of meat with a famous fresh baked bread. If you're looking for a delicious sandwich with low fat content, Subway's the right place. 2 places in Kokomo, Dixon Square, Markland Mall, and State Road 22 in Greentown.
We are tied at 7, 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, and once again, Carmel has good field position. From the 44, Shannon Polk is tripped up. He is 5'10", 175, and he has shown us what he can do already in this game.
Well, it doesn't hurt when you've got the ability of Shannon Polk, but when you take a look at that interior offensive line, they go 275, 225, 215, 230, 265. That's a lot of beef to run behind, Howard.
Absolutely. These kids get bigger and bigger as the years go on. Painting in motion. Polk again. Inside the 50, still on his feet, down to the 43-yard line of Kokomo. Shannon Polk continues to carry that football. Drew Roberts made the stop.
Nice block up front by the left guard, number 61 for Carmel, Grant Eccles. But after that, it was all Shannon Polk dragging his tackler another 3 or 4 yards. 9-yard total pickup for Polk on that carry.
First down for the Greyhounds. This game is tied at 7 at the 44-yard line. Travis Meek has thrown 16 touchdown passes for the Greyhounds this year. He's back to throw. He's looking deep. He throws deep. Look, let's see if there's a flag. Well, there goes the flag. Pass interference. Shannon Polk was the intended receiver. John?
Well, they're going to call that defensive pass interference against the Kokomo Wildcats, number 22, Drew Roberts, a 5'10", 175-pound senior, as contact was made before the ball got in the zone.
So it'll be a first down for the Greyhounds.
Well, that was a big play there for Carmel here in the early going, and obviously it could be a disaster. Well, if we could take a look at that again, you could see that contact before the ball even got in the zone on that particular situation. It was a good call by the official. Okay, you take a look at that replay, dropping back. There's Moore. He lets it fly. Now the ball is not quite there, and there's contact right there, and you can see it's a good call.
You're right on it, John. Meek. Here's Whaling. Still on his feet. Inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line. The Greyhounds continue to run against the Wildcats.
He's a load, Howard. 6'1", 230 pounds. He gets ahead of steam. He's hard to bring down.
14 yards and a first down. The ball at the Wildcat 14.
2:20 remaining here in our first quarter. The score tied up. 7-7.
We should point out that Kokomo is the only unbeaten Class 5A team. Whaling in motion. Meek to Polk. Got to bring him down, and they do at about the 9-yard line.
Well, here's the name for you, number 34, Herman Fowler in on the tackle. I'm sure you've heard that name a few times.
Yes.
Plays a little basketball for the Wildcats.
Yep. Under 2 minutes left in the first quarter. We're tied at 7. The Greyhounds are threatening. Second down and 6 from the 9. Whaling in motion. Polk inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. And Polk was brought down on the play by Nick Longworth.
Good open field tackle by Longworth, even though it was within that 5-yard zone between the offensive and defensive lines. But to try to get a hold of the legs of Polk and bring him down, Longworth did a great job.
Well, the Greyhounds offense has been consistent of running plays, and they have run the ball very, very well. Inside the 5, first and goal to go. Backs in the eye. Here's Polk. And he is in for the touchdown.
That one was a 4-yard touchdown carry by Shannon Polk. He just went right up the middle. He ran behind that big, huge offensive line for Carmel, and they exploded off the ball and actually drove back the Kokomo defensive line a couple yards, and Polk only needed to put his head down and get in.
It is 13-7 in favor of the Greyhounds. Kyle Alonzo is in for the extra point. .105 to go in the quarter. Kick has the distance. It is good. We'll be back after these messages.
After midnight.
Your bottom line, CEO promises your business is guaranteed pricing, service, and free next-day delivery. That is Corporate Edge Communications and Supplies.
Kyle Lanzo's kick is taken at the 15. He's across the 20, 25, 30, and to the 35-yard line. So a good run back by Butcher of Kokomo, DJ Butcher.
Howard, that last scoring drive, it was 2 minutes, 25 seconds total. Polk carried the ball 5 times, 27 yards, and the TD. Polk for the game so far has 2 touchdowns, 9 carries, 69 yards. Not a bad average per carry there.
All right, the Wildcats start at their own 35, trailing 14-7. 1 minute to go, first quarter. Double reverse, and they were waiting for it, and Aaron Alexander is thrown for a huge loss.
That was Mike Wagner. Wagner, 6 foot, 200-pound right end, got in there. He's been pressuring more all night when he's dropped back in the pocket to pass, and that time the right end, Wagner went in uncontested and threw the Kokomo Wildcats for a big loss.
A loss of 9. Our director is Jeff Elliott, executive producer Dennis Casey, Tim Borff, the stat man, all here at Kokomo High School on the Channel 40 Game of the Week. 2nd and 19 for the Wildcats. Mike Moore, the quarterback. Back to throw. Throwing deep down the left sideline, incomplete, much too far. The intended receiver was Paul Barrett, and that will bring up 3rd and 19.
12 seconds remaining here. Probably, Howard, one more play in this first quarter. But we've seen a lot of offensive fireworks, and you probably called it best here in the press box. You thought it'd be a high-scoring affair.
I just thought that both teams had the ability to run the ball against the opposition. But Jim Belden, as we said earlier, thought it'd be a low-scoring game, so I curtailed my comments after I heard that, but it's 14-7 in favor of Carmel. Closing moment of the first quarter. Moore fumbles the exchange, and Carmel recovers. Carmel recovers. And the Greyhounds, with 7 seconds to go in the first quarter, have the ball at the Kokomo 26.
Let's take a look at this replay. You see the ball go loose, and Carmel comes up with it. At the bottom of the pile is Eric Hedgegaard, a 6 foot, 185-pound middle linebacker coming up with the fumble recovery. And as Howard mentioned, 7 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. On a cold night, sometimes it's hard as a quarterback to get that exchange from the center. It just seems like it hits you like a ton of bricks.
Okay, a first down for the Greyhounds at the 26 of Kokomo. 7 seconds to go in the quarter. Meek's pass is complete, and that's going to close out the first quarter. John Cira caught the football, and that is the end of the first quarter. They gained 7 yards on the play. At the quarter, Carmel 14, Kokomo 7. Back with period 2 in just a moment. Play back in, 2nd and 4 from the 20. Here's Polk. He's down to the 15, the 10, the 9-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Greyhounds. Herman Fowler made the tackle, and Kokomo is going to have to make the adjustment soon defensively or risk being blown out of here.
Well, Polk likes to run behind the right side of the offensive line. Right guard Adam Butt, 5'10", 225, a senior, and Brent Sandquist, 5'11", 275, the right tackle. You see why Polk had a great big gaping hole to run through.
Okay, 1st and goal to go. Travis Meek, the quarterback, opening moment of period 2. Polk again. Still on his feet, and he's in for the touchdown. Shannon Polk, 9 yards for the score. And it appeared as if he was stopped at the 5, but he just kept on going.
He's an excellent runner. He keeps his legs churning. He doesn't allow the tackler to wrap him up. And if you can take a look at this replay, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. There's Meeks pitching the ball to Shannon Polk. He comes out off a right tackle, puts his head down. Look at that. He looks like he's down there, keeps the legs moving, still moving, steps away from traffic, and he's in from 9 yards out.
He looked as if he was going to go down there, but there was nobody near him. So now the extra point. Kyle Alonso is in. It's 20-7 in favor of the Greyhounds. Alonso's kick has the distance, and it is good. So, with 11 minutes and 35 seconds left in the first half, it's Carmel 21, Kokomo 7. We'll be back after these messages.
Subway's the right choice when you're looking for a great filling meal without all the fat. At Subway, we pile on a choice of fresh veggies, high on your choice of meats, and our famous fresh baked bread. If you're looking for a delicious sandwich without all the fat, Subway's the right place. 2 locations in Kokomo, Dixon Square and Markland Mall, and also at State Road 22 in Greentown. Carmel set to kick off, Howard.
Kyle Alonso kicking off for the Greyhounds. He is at the 14, Dondre Johnson, across the 20 and brought down at the 23-yard line. So, the Wildcats will begin a very important series from their own 23. The tackle there made by Brian Wells of Carmel.
First quarter stats, you take a look at it. First downs, Carmel had 7, Kokomo 6. Johnson carried the ball for Kokomo 6 times, 68 yards. Polk carried the ball for Carmel 9 times, 69 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Each team only had 6 passing yards in that first quarter, Howard.
Well, there's no need to put the ball in the air when you're running the ball effectively. Johnson, and they're looking for him. And he is thrown back for a loss. And among those in the stop for the Greyhounds, number 60, the lead man, nose guard Todd Wright.
Just a comment about the defense of Kokomo. Kokomo's defense yielded an average of 12 points per game in the regular season, but has watched their opponents in the first 2 rounds of the sectional light up the scoreboard for 38 and 34, but Kokomo still was able to get out with wins the past 2 weeks. Rice said the Cats must step up and put pressure on Carmel and keep that score down. And as you can see the scoreboard right now, Kokomo is on the short side of the 21-7 score.
And Kokomo led 7-0. 2nd and 12. The pitch out to Johnson, and he is thrown for another loss back at the 17-yard line. John Cotton got him, and these Carmel Greyhounds have looked very sharp defensively in the last couple of series.
They certainly have. Obviously, the offense has fired up. The defense got the momentum shifted on their side. That last scoring drive for Carmel, 3 plays, 26 yards, 32 seconds, Polk, an 8-yard TD. That's his 3rd TD of the night. He's rushed 11 times for 89 yards, Howard.
John, it's 3rd and 16 from the 17. Moore throwing deep. Nobody there, incomplete. So that'll bring up 4th down, and the Wildcats will be forced to punt.
There's a good look at the Kokomo crowd, the Kokomo Wildcat faithful in front of us here on the home side of the field. Carmel, by the way, Howard, has 13 offensive plays before that last touchdown. 11 runs by Polk, 8 first downs so far in the first half for Carmel. Their offense is clicking.
Mike Sargent into punt, standing in his own 5. Gets his leg into it. Takes a good bounce. It's taken by Sierra. There he goes, streaking down the sideline. He is going to go all the way. John Sierra, 58 yards for the score, and it's 27-7 Carmel.
My question was, Sierra obviously knew where that sideline was as he stayed in bounds and just went all the way down the sideline, 58 yards, stayed behind his blocking, and boy, just a great play there for Sierra. Let's take a look at the replay here as they get ready to punt. The Kokomo Wildcats do. Long cadence. There's the punt in the air, and it's a low liner, end over end. Sierra actually picks the ball up at about the 42-yard line, his own 42, and then he gets behind his blocking on the far sidelines and utilizes a lot of speed. Sierra, really only one man had a chance to tackle him there, and a great block there at the end of the play to free Sierra for that 58-yard touchdown return.
Well, the officials conferred for a moment, and we'll pause for these messages. Take away the touchdown. Unsportsmanlike conduct called against the Carmel bench on the return in a most unusual call, and it apparently has saved the day for the Wildcats.
That certainly has. You know, we looked at that.
Aaron Peening down to the 19-yard line, and the Greyhounds just run at will. Drew Roberts made the tackle for Kokomo.
Travis Meek, the quarterback, Howard, you got to agree, made that play on the fake pitch, the misdirection handoff to Peening, and Peening went off right tackle, big gainer.
Beautifully executed by the Greyhounds. So it was a pickup of some 19 yards down to the 19-yard line. First down for the Greyhounds. The pitch out goes to Polk at the 15, 10, down to the 6-yard line. Check that, make it the 10, the 11-yard line, John.
It was Brad Pittman, defensive end, finally bringing down Shannon Polk. But if you've noticed, Howard, most of the night when they've been able to stop Polk, it's been a gang tackle situation, 3 or 4 people.
Well, it's 2nd and 2. Clock running, 9:10 to go, first half. Travis Meek barking him out. Polk, he's got the first down to the 7-yard line. Nick Longworth made the tackle.
Also, Herman Fowler, the outside linebacker, in on that stop.
First and goal to go for the Greyhounds. They're leading 21-7, and they have dominated this game after Kokomo took the early 7-0 lead. It has been all Carmel.
Number 7.
Here are the Greyhounds. First and goal to go. Well, they gave the ball to Peening, and Peening got a couple, but he stopped shy. There he is, number 44, Aaron Peening, who is a tight end, 6'2", 235-pound junior.
Once again, the fake pitch to the near side of the field and the handoff to Peening to the outside part. And Peening, as we mentioned, down inside the 5-yard line of Kokomo.
Second and goal to go for the Greyhounds. Second and goal from the 5. Meek to Polk, and he is stopped shy at about the 3-yard line. That was a very good play by the Wildcats defensively, and that'll set up third down.
Well, if they can keep Shannon Polk and the Greyhounds out of the end zone here on this drive, the Wildcats can, and either settle for 3 or just stop them flat. It could change the tide of momentum. Right now, Carmel has got the express rolling as they have amassed so far in this first half 21 points.
We've got a timeout on the field, and we'll be back after these messages.
Do you need a CEO for your office? Call Corporate Edge Office Supplies because we're concerned in helping you with your bottom line. CEO's promise to your business is guaranteed pricing, service, and free next-day delivery, large product selection, and expert product knowledge. Corporate Edge Office Supplies, 105 North Buckeye in downtown Kokomo, or call area code 317-457-1103 or 1-800-636-1101. That's Corporate Edge Office Supplies in Kokomo.
7:12 to go, first half. It is 21-7 in favor of the Greyhounds. As you look at the Carmel Greyhounds, head coach Jim Belden. John, you have a note.
Yes, I do. Since Kokomo's scoring drive, they've run 12 plays, amassing only 7 yards. Kokomo's really had tough going since that opening drive.
And on the other hand, Carmel has had no need to throw the ball.
Exactly.
Carmel has marched up and down the field. Here's a third and goal to go from the 3. As Travis Meek takes his club to the line of scrimmage. Power I. Polk. They stopped him. They stopped him. I
talked about it just a few moments ago. If Kokomo's defense could bend but not break, they could turn the tide, I think, of this first half, considering the fact they called back that 58-yard punt return for a touchdown. Let's take a look at the replay. Kokomo really stuffs it tight inside. The handoff goes to Shannon Polk, and he's straight up and down, and 3 or 4 would-be tacklers led by number 43, Sean Bollinger. They're on the stop for the Wildcats. Here's a big fourth down, Howard.
They are going for it on 4th and goal from the 2. And did he get in? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Jeff Whaling got in the end zone for the TD.
Well, Whaling at 6'1", 230 pounds, got some forward momentum. Let's take a look at this replay. We got an injured player on the field. There is Meek handing the ball off to Whaling, and he goes forward, and he's in there for 6, but a very unusual ending to that play, as Whaling really had his head snapped backwards, and I wouldn't venture to say, but I think that's Whaling still down the field for Carmel.
Okay, John, we'll be back after these messages.
There's a look at Whaling as he comes off the field. Jeff Whaling scoring the touchdown. Very awkward. We looked at the replay before the timeout. He got hit and really had his neck snapped back, and we're glad to see him off the field under his own power.
Absolutely. It's fumbled, and they will not make the extra point. So Kyle Alonso was in for the extra point. They do not make it. And it's 27-7 in favor of the Greyhounds.
Subway's the right choice when you're looking for a great filling meal without all the fat. At Subway, we pile on a choice of fresh veggies, and we also pile on your choice of meat on our fresh baked bread. So if you're looking for a delicious sandwich without all the fat, Subway's the right place. 2 locations in Kokomo, Dixon Square, Markland Mall, and also State Road 22 in Greentown. That's Subway, where fresh is the taste.
Kokomo is trailing 27-7 after leading 7-0. Kyle Alonso will be kicking off.
Last scoring drive, 7 plays for Carmel, 38 yards, 3:22 elapsed time. Polk, 4 carries, 15 yards. He has 15 carries so far for 104 yards, Howard, in this first half. Penning had 2 carries for 21 yards. Whaling, 1 carry, 2 yards, and that was a TD run.
And there's still 6.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. That's how dominating Carmel has been offensively. Here is Lonzo's kick. End over end. Yarborough, 25, 30, still going down to the 36-yard line. 28-yard return for Yarborough.
Beautiful run there by Yarborough as he brought it upfield, kept the legs turning, and ended up getting an extra 10 yards out of this play. Let's take a look as the kickoff goes down deep to Yarborough around his own 10-yard line. Follows his blocking, breaks a tackle, arm tackle there, runs into a couple people, and keeps his legs moving for another 7-8 yards.
First down from the 36 for the Wildcats, trailing 27-7. Another fumble on the exchange. What has happened to the Wildcats? And Kokomo keeps possession.
Well, it was a situation there that I don't think anybody really had possession of the football or a good grasp on it. Kokomo very fortunate to get that fumble back. I like the way that Kokomo started out the ball game. They were mixing it up. They ran a couple Statue of Liberty plays. They ran some misdirection, and now they've went more conservative offensively.
Well, Carmel made the adjustment defensively. You got to give the Greyhounds some credit. Second down and 10. Right up the middle. Kirby to the 43-yard line. Charlie Kirby, the fullback. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 3.
Last tackle for the Carmel Greyhounds by, looked like number 42 as they unpiled. That is Nick Olson.
3rd and 3. Big play if the Wildcats are to get back into it. Johnson for the first down, and Moore fumbles that football. It's recovered by the Greyhounds at the 34-yard line. The ball picked up. John Rolling.
Well, if we could take a look at Dondre Johnson, he broke through the initial line of scrimmage, and someone just reached out and tried to arm tackle him and actually stripped the ball away from Dondre Johnson. And then it went bounding forward, and finally Carmel, as you mentioned, recovered on their own 36-yard line. Now at 1st and 10 there, and we have 5:05 remaining to be played first half. Carmel on top by 20, 27-7 at this juncture in the game.
All right, here are the Greyhounds, who have dominated this football game. Travis Meek, the quarterback. They put it on the ground on 1st down. And they give it to Whaling, and he gets a yard, and that is it. Jeff Whaling, the ball carrier.
4 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in this first half. If you're Kokomo, you want to stop them here defensively, get the ball back, and hope to get a score and get within a couple of possessions or a couple scores as you start out the second half of play.
Okay, 2nd down and 9. Clock running, under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Meek rolling right. He's got the football, and his pass is incomplete. Joshua Trissler was over there, but the pass is ruled incomplete, and Jim Belden appears to be upset.
Well, TV 40 has plenty of football for you this weekend. Saturday night at midnight, actually tomorrow night at midnight, we'll have the Anderson University Ravens with the Wabash College Little Giants. Airtime is 12 o'clock midnight Saturday from Mockholt Stadium there at Anderson University.
I'll see you at Anderson tomorrow.
Better bring the Long Johns and the parka, Howard.
Okay, we'll be ready for it. May get some snow overnight. Ball at the 36. It's 3rd and 9 for the Greyhounds. And Carmel's calling for a timeout. Travis Meek indicates timeout. Carmel leading 27-7, 4:17 to go in the first half. We'll pause for these messages. Third and 9 for the Greyhounds from the 36-yard line. Meek to throw. Rushed. In trouble. Now flips it high in the air. It is complete. It is complete to the 38-yard line, shy of the first down. Jeff Whaling caught the ball, and they turned that into a 2-yard gain.
That looked like sheer disaster. Kokomo thought they had the quarterback, Travis Meek, sacked for a big loss. He gets away, and I'm impressed with the athletic ability of Meek to throw across the field, and on the run, too, he did a great job.
Justin Weintraut into punt. End over end. First time Carmel has punted. Now, wait a minute. Let's see. It is Carmel's ball. It hit a Wildcat.
That was a mental mistake there for the Kokomo Wildcats because Jai Roberts, actually had the ball hit him in the back of the leg, and that's a live ball for the punt coverage team if it hits the punt return team, and that's what happened.
With the defenders getting down the way they were, you've got to get out of the way.
I mean, you run to the sidelines if that ball's there and you got 3 defenders and you're the only man returning it for your ball club, and he just made a mental mistake there. The ball hits Roberts. Carmel's got it back.
Either call for a fair catch or get out of the way.
Okay, let's take a look at a replay here. There, the punt is away, and it's coming downfield. And you see the ball hit, and actually the ball's right behind his legs there, and it touches him.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Carmel. So that costs the Greyhounds. 15-yard penalty against the Greyhounds.
That is a second unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Carmel here in the first half.
Second time that the Greyhounds have been hit with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Ball at the 43-yard line. Greyhounds have it. They're leading 27-7. Meek fakes the handoff. Rolling right. He's going to keep the football. And he is still on his feet, and he has the first down. I believe he has it. Penalty marker down.
Right over in front of the Carmel bench is where the flag was thrown, Howard. Face mask is the call against Kokomo.
And I made a mistake. It was 1st and 25 because of the unsportsmanlike penalty, so he did not have the first down. But after this penalty, he may very well have it.
Preliminary call for face mask.
And the ball now is at the 16-yard line of Kokomo. (27-7) in favor of Carmel, and the Greyhounds threatening to score again. 3:17 left, first half. There are those backs in the power eye. Meek hands it to the left side to Polk, and he goes nowhere. And Aaron Parks in there to make the stop.
Also assisting Parks was number 79, Nick Longworth. Let's take a look at the replay here. See the long cadence trying to draw Kokomo offside, and the handoff goes to Polk, but nothing doing. I see Herman Fowler down there too, and Parks, and they had a trio of tacklers, and also Longworth.
That they did. Second down, 12 for the Greyhounds. Clock running, we're under 3 minutes. Left in the half, 27-7. Meek back to throw, throwing deep. He's got a man. Touchdown, touchdown Carmel. Aaron Peening, 18 yards.
Let's take a look at this replay here on the touchdown. See Travis Meek fakes the handoff, drops back in the pocket, eyes his man, throws a perfect spiral downfield to Peening, who catches it just in the back of the end zone for another 6, and that puts Carmel at 33-7 with 2:27 to play here in the first half.
Peening beat Jai Roberts on the play. So it's 33-7, and here's Kai Alonso for the extra point. And now a timeout is called by the Greyhounds.
Well, Peening's a very versatile athlete. We've seen him carry the pigskin this year, along with
Didn't they tell you before the game what they're going to do
– 18. I thought we had a better game. Play back in. Carmel going for the extra point, going for 2 there. He got in, Polk got in, however, 2 penalties called, a hold and an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So the Greyhounds, going for the extra point, lose 30 yards on penalties.
I'll tell you, Carmel's had their share of penalties. They lead at 33-7, and now we're going for a 2-point conversion here, and it's from, what, the 31-yard line of Kokomo?
You're right. Meek to throw, and he's throwing deep. It is intercepted, I believe. Intercepted, no conversion. Yarborough makes the interception. So it's 33-7 in favor of Carmel. John?
Let's take a look at this replay. Travis Meeks from about the 31-yard line, Kokomo. The longest 2-point conversion that I have ever witnessed as a broadcaster. And Meeks puts it up in the air, and at the end of the play, you see the interception by Yarborough there of Kokomo.
Okay. So the Greyhounds now will kick off, leading 33-7. 2:26 left in the half. Kyle Alonzo will be kicking off for the Greyhounds, and that's not the first time I've mentioned his name this evening. And here's Lonzo's kick. Bounces at a squib kick, and the Greyhounds have it. The Greyhounds have it. Recovered by Carmel's Mark Roth.
I'd like to give you a quote from Willard Rice as he was quoted in a local Kokomo paper this past week. He talked about the fact that we can't get into another shootout with Carmel. He said our special teams can't make any mistakes from the offensive standpoint. That's the second special team mistake they've had. You can take a look at the replay. You see Carmel coming up with a kickoff recovery. Now Kokomo lost it. That set up the last touchdown for Carmel when their return man touched the ball on a punt return, and Carmel recovered. And now Carmel recovers on a kickoff.
First down for the Greyhounds. Jim Belden announcing earlier this week it would be his final season of coaching and teaching, shooting for his 5th state championship. Meeks pass, incomplete. Penalty marker is down though.
Boy, we have had a lot of flags, and before this penalty flag was thrown, or these penalty flags, plural, Carmel had 4 penalties for 60 yards, Howard. Kokomo, 3 penalties for 45 yards. We've had 105 yards in yellow flags so far in the first half.
The Wildcats have had such a terrific season. Illegal procedure against Carmel. Pass interference against Kokomo. Offsetting penalties. We'll do it over again.
Well, Howard, I understand that you and Dave Nicholson get a chance to tip off the TV 40 high school basketball game of the week season, as Pendleton will play host to the Alexandria Tigers. That game will be shown Friday night, November the 29th. And right now we're also looking at a game possibly on Thanksgiving Eve at midnight between Western and Kokomo, but a lot of it depends on the success of the Kokomo football team.
Okay. First down. Meek to throw. Throwing deep. It is incomplete. Incomplete. The intended receiver, Joshua Trissler. John?
Well, that last scoring drive that was a result of a special teams error on Kokomo's part where the ball hit the return man. That was a 4-play, 43-yard scoring drive, a minute 3 elapsed time, penning a 15-yard penalty, 15-yard face mask penalty, kept that drive alive for Carmel. It was against Kokomo on the face mask penalty. Meek, an 18-yard TD pass to Peening to complete that scoring drive.
Okay, it is 2nd and 10 from the 45. Whaling in motion. Poke to the 45, and that's all. The Wildcats have played better lately on defense. Nick Longworth made the tackle. And this will bring up 3rd and long.
Come on! Defense!
3rd down and 10. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. The clock is running. Carmel leading 33-7. And remember, Kokomo led 7-0. Here's a reverse to Sarah, and he goes nowhere.
That was Nick Longworth in on the tackle. Great defensive play by Longworth to come up and make that stop. We've called his number a lot from the inside linebacker position for the Wildcats. Do you need a CEO for your office? Call Corporate Edge Office Supplies because we're concerned in helping you with your bottom line. CEO's promise to your business is guaranteed pricing, service, and free next-day delivery. Large product selection and expert product knowledge. That's Corporate Edge Office Supplies.
Okay, Carmel kicking, Justin Weintraub punting, and Kokomo will get the ball back with 41 seconds left to go in the first half. 30-yard punt. So a first down from the 26 for Kokomo.
Well, the way the game started off, I thought we were going to have a very competitive ball game, but Carmel has certainly taken over after the first scoring drive of the ball game for Kokomo. Offensively, they've done it with outstanding tailback Shannon Polk, and he has amassed over 100 yards, unofficially probably close to 115 so far in the first half.
First down, Wildcats at their own 26. A little confusion. There's Johnson. Near sideline, tripped up a terrific tackle at the 30-yard line. And that stop was made by Samuel Morris.
This is a very well-coached Carmel team, and you can see just by that tackle made on Dondre Johnson, execution, Carmel's been superb on both sides of the football in the first half.
Who would have thought we'd have this kind of game after the way Kokomo took the opening kick, marched 80 yards up and down the field, and led 7-0. Clock is running, and that may do it. That is the end of the first half. They did not get the play off. That's the end of the first half. The score, Carmel 33, Kokomo 7. We'll be back after these messages. Play back in third quarter. It has been all Carmel. The Greyhounds leading 33-7. Kokomo will be kicking off. Austin Coos. And he gets his leg into it. He's at the 15, and what a hit. He's still on his feet. And brought down at the 33-yard line. First and 10.
It was Jai Roberts who made the stop there for Kokomo.
Shannon Polk running it back. Call first and 10 from the 33-yard line.
First half stats, first downs for Carmel 13, 6 for Kokomo. Rushing yards, Carmel carried the ball 24 times, 151 yards. Polk had 102 of those 151 yards.
First down for the Greyhounds. They put it on the ground. Whaling to the 48. There's no need for Carmel to pass if they can run the ball that way, the way they did in the first half.
That's what I would say. let's take a look at this replay as Meek hands it off to Whaling. Whaling puts his head down, and it looks like he's going to be brought down here, but he just out-maneuvers and overpowers his man and drags him about 3 or 4 yards before Whaling finally comes down.
So a first down for the Greyhounds. They picked up 15 yards on the play. Whaling again to the 44-yard line. Penalty marker down back at the 46 of Carmel. Holding.
Our executive producer, Dennis Casey, called it. He had it up here in the booth. Eagle Eyes Casey.
He's not a happy man right now with the score the way it is. He's a Kokomo grad. It is 33-7 Carmel, holding against the Greyhounds.
Some other first half stats. We'll take a look at a replay of the holding here before we run down the stats. And I think you see it right about there at the tail end of the play. And a good call by the official on the holding. It cost Carmel 15 yards. Once again, rushing yardage first half, Carmel 24 carries, 151, and Kokomo had 19 carries for 103 yards in the first half.
Ball at the 37. Polk to the outside. To the 44 where he's pushed out of bounds. So that'll bring up a 2nd and long.
The passing game for Carmel in the first half, Travis Meek, 3 of 5 for 25 yards, 1 touchdown, that 18-yard touchdown to Eric Peening. And we've got a face mask, it looks like possibly to call out there on the field against Kokomo. And the passing for Kokomo, Moore was 2 of 5 for only 6 yards passing for Kokomo.
There it is against the Wildcats. 15-yarder against Kokomo. We've had a lot of penalties, and most of them have been major.
First half, 4 penalties against Carmel for 60 yards. Kokomo 3 penalties first half for 45 yards.
A face mask against the Wildcats. So now they're at the 42. Whaling to the 37. He got 5 on the play. And brought down at the 37-yard line by Morgan.
Those Denny Morgan and Nick Longworth, number 79. We've called his number a lot so far this evening for Kokomo defensively. That kid has got a nose for the football, Howard.
All right, John. 2nd down and 5. Clock running, 10 minutes to go, third quarter. 33-7 Carmel. And there he goes, Whaling again, bouncing off tacklers. He's down finally at the 19-yard line. And the man who brought him down was Nick Longworth.
6'1", 230 pounds. He is like a little locomotive going downfield. He bounces right off that tackler, and you got to feel for the tackler. That particular time trying to bring him down was Jai Roberts, and he just banged Roberts back about 3 or 4 yards, did Whaling, and Whaling, a very hard-nosed kid at 6'1" and 230.
Okay. Travis Meek, the quarterback. There's Polk. 15, 10, 5, and he's going to go into the end zone for the touchdown. Shannon Polk scores again.
When you say again, that's his 4th touchdown of the night, Howard. He had 3 rushing touchdowns in the first half.
He makes it look easy, too.
Excellent athlete. He bounces off would-be tacklers. The key element to Polk is he keeps the legs churning all the time. It's very difficult to bring somebody down and wrap them when they keep the legs churning.
John, it now is 39-7 Carmel. Sectional 4 5A championship game. Kyle Alonso in for the extra point. The kick has the distance. It is good. The kick is good. It is Carmel 40, Kokomo 7. 9:21 left to go in the third quarter. We'll pause for these words.
Let's take a look at here at the replay. Pitchback goes to Shannon Polk. Polk, little juke step, goes to the outside, breaks an arm tackle, and he's in for another 6. 4 TDs so far on the night for Shannon Polk of Carmel. Outstanding running back.
It's 40-7. Kyle Lanza will be kicking off. 9:21 left, third quarter. So here's Lanza's kick. Taken at the far sideline. Johnson to the 23-yard line, where he is brought down. The tackle made by Carmel's Joshua Trissler. 17-yard return for Johnson.
Latest scoring drive for the Carmel Greyhounds, 5 plays, 67 yards in all, 3:32 off the scoreboard clock in the elapsed time. Whaling, 3 carries, 37 yards for the game, 6 carries, 54 yards. Polk had 2 carries for 25 yards, including the touchdown. He now has 127 yards on the night on 19 carries.
Now here are the Wildcats. Here's Johnson. You know, it's amazing the way Carmel has adjusted after that first set of downs. I'm not so surprised that Carmel scored a lot, but I thought Kokomo would be scoring a lot tonight, too.
Well, I like the way, and I said this before, Kokomo came out of the gate playing very aggressively, playing wide open offense, and then Carmel, as you mentioned, made the adjustment, and they shut Kokomo totally down.
That they have. Second down. Moore hands off. Kirby up the middle. And he's brought down at the 29.
Charlie Kirby.
More football on TV 40. Howard Kellman and yours truly, John Fox, brave the elements at Anderson University on Saturday. That game will be shown Saturday night at midnight as the Ravens of Anderson University host the Wabash College Little Giants. It's 12 o'clock midnight on TV 40 for NCAA Division III college football from the ICAC at Anderson University. And also coming up here in the near future, Howard, our TV 40 high school basketball schedule kicks off, and some big games we've got on the schedule. I'll talk about them here in a little bit.
Okay, John. And Kokomo has called for a timeout, and we'll be back after these words.
Yo, all you homeboys out of the Bronx, this one's for you.
Pump up the volume.
Okay, play back in. 3rd and 4 for the Wildcats. Look at this set, John. Everybody out to the left. It is incomplete. The intended receiver, number 81, Paul Barrett.
Student body left
Pass intended
without
for
the run.
That's what it looked like.
Incomplete.
Talking about some of the TV 40 high school games of the week. Of course, Howard and Dave Nicholson will start out the season with Alexandria at Pendleton. That'll be on November the 29th at 10:30 p.m. And that's a Friday night. Then we have the likes of Kokomo and Western scheduled.
Mike Sargent in to kick. He slips as he kicks it away. And he's running it back. And down to the 43-yard line. John Cira running it back, number 22.
Good look at Cira there in front of you. He had a punt return for a touchdown in the first half called back because of an unsportsmanlike penalty against his Carmel teammates on the far side of the field. Some of the other games coming up dotting our schedule, a great matchup between Logansport and Frankford. That's at Frankford. We'll show that game at 10:30 on December the 13th, and that puts Caleb Springer of Logansport up against Travis Best and Andy Foster of Frankford. We've got the Hall of Fame on TV 40 on Saturday, December 28th. So that's some of the action before Christmas.
Okay, John. Meek on first down. Whaling. Jeff Whaling, a 6'1", 230-pound junior fullback. There he is.
A lot of people would love to have him on the offensive line blocking instead of carrying the football. But imagine if you're a DB, a defensive back, trying to bring a guy like that down, Howard, and he's almost like a lineman delivering punishment when he's carrying the football.
It certainly is. All right, 2nd and 2. Carmel leading 40-7. We're in the third quarter. Whaling again. He has a first down and more, picks up 8. Ball at the 27. 1st and 10.
Well, TV 40, another note to the high school basketball schedule coming up for 96-97. We'll see the Kokomo Wildcats a total of 3 times, and who knows in the tournament situation, the way things line up. We'll see one of the top-ranked teams in the Anderson Indians, preseason number 2 in the state. They have got 5 solid starters back for a 3rd year in a row, and they're only juniors, coached by Ron Heklinski. He's quite an amazing story, coming back from a liver transplant this past summer.
Penalty marker down. He gets about 6 more. Does the big guy, Jeff Whaling, the fullback. Illegal procedure against the Greyhounds.
Staying with that basketball on TV 40 this year, we'll also get the opportunity to see the Madison Grant Argyles. They're ranked number 6 in the state of Indiana preseason poll by Hoosier Basketball Magazine. And Madison Grant, of course, will be in the Hall of Fame tournament, as likewise will be the Anderson Indians. Madison Grant, I had a chance to watch them practice the other night. They are going to be something special for a small school this year.
A little surprised the football team was beaten last week.
I certainly was too, but their quarterback, Bo Engel, had a horrific night. He was like 1 of 10 passing in the first half, and it really hurt him. Turnovers, too. They had 5 of them in the first half last week.
Some of the teams we carried this year all were beaten last week. Tipton, Madison Grant, Northwestern. Here's Polk, still on his feet. Brought down at about the 22, 23-yard line.
Polk, the ball carrier.
Well, you know, in that Hall of Fame tournament we're going to be televising on TV 40, we'll see the likes of Batesville's Michael Menzer, and also DeKalb's Luke Recker, who's already committed to Indiana University, Kyle Runyon, who's being courted by many Big Ten schools, Luke Recker, second-team All-American from Street and Smith magazine. So we're in store for some great high school basketball this year.
Well, we look forward to that. We thought we'd have a closer game tonight, but we haven't had one. It's 40-7 Carmel. Give the Greyhounds all the credit in the world. They have played very well.
Well, because of the fine folks at the Kokomo Tribune.
play back in. The injured player, Sean Bollinger, carried off on a stretcher. Carmel ball. Here's Whaling. And he is close to the first down. He may have it down to the 16-yard line.
Well, I'm going to be in agreement with our executive producer, but got a good spot, so they're going to give him the first down.
First down for the Greyhounds. There's your score. Carmel 40-7. Clock running. 4.5 to go in the third quarter.
Polk about 130 yards, roughly 4 touchdowns tonight, Howard.
There's Travis Meek, the quarterback. Pitches out to Polk. He avoids one tackle. And he's out of bounds at the 8-yard line.
Well, you can see on the screen that rain is coming down a lot harder than it has all night at this point in the ball game. Subway, that's the right choice when you're looking for a great filling meal without all that fat. At Subway, we pile on fresh veggies along with your choice of meat and the fresh baked bread that they're famous for. If you're looking for a delicious sandwich, remember Subway without all the fat. Subway's the right place. 2 locations in Kokomo, Dixon Square, Markland Mall, and also State Road 22 in Greentown.
Second down and 2. The ball at the 8. Polk. And he's down to about the 5, and he may very well have the first down.
Shannon Polk, before that carry, 21 carries tonight, 143 yards in all, and 4 touchdowns. And that's to add on to the numbers coming in. He had 14 touchdowns. Now he's at 18 TDs. And Polk, as I mentioned, now over 1,300 yards on the season, Howard.
And he's had a terrific game and a terrific season. Under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. First and goal to go. Whaling. Touchdown. They did it again. The Greyhounds have done it again. And it's 46-7 Carmel.
Well, for Jeff Whaling, that is his second rushing touchdown of the night. I was just about ready to mention before that carry, Whaling has 10 carries for 78 yards. Let's take a look at the touchdown here. Handoff goes to Whaling, and we're just talking good old-fashioned smash mouth football. Whaling in your face from 6 yards out for the touchdown. Whaling 2 TDs. Now he's over 80 yards, 84 unofficially on the night.
All right. Lonzo for the extra point. And there are whistles. Illegal procedure against the Greyhounds.
Well, I think if there were any questions about this 9-1 Carmel team as far as how they might do tonight, and I think even further on in the 5A playoffs, probably being answered.
I would say so. So they lose 5 on the penalty. This will be a 25-yard attempt on the extra point. It has the distance. It is good. No good. No good. Wide right. We'll pause for these words.
Do you need a CEO for your office? Call Corporate Edge Office Supplies because they're concerned in helping you with your bottom line. CEO's promise to your business is guaranteed pricing, service, and free next-day delivery. That's Corporate Edge Office Supplies, 105 North Buckeye Street, downtown Kokomo. Call them at 1-800-636-1101.
And here is the kick by Alonzo. It's taken at the 24. He's across the 40, the 43. Penalty marker is down. Penalty marker down. Charlie Kirby, who was a fullback, took the kick, number 14, and ran it back. And let's check out the penalty. It is a face mask against Carmel.
This will be the best field position Kokomo's had since the first quarter. Let's take a look at the replay here, Howard. You see Kirby coming downfield on the return, and good running room, and coming up here will be the face mask right at the end, right there by number 42, called for the face mask at the end. Nope, excuse me, it was actually, it looked like a couple of face masks. Yeah, Nick Olson, a man called for the face mask, but I saw one even at the tail end of that play.
Okay. First down for Kokomo at the 42. Look at all that motion. Boy, the trick plays have not worked tonight. Pardon me. The trick plays have not worked tonight the way they did last week.
Well, the latest scoring drive for Carmel, 9 plays, 43 yards, 3:53 elapsed time. Whaling 5 carries on that touchdown drive for 29 yards, 6-yard TD run, and Polk on the night. On the last scoring drive, he had 3 carries of 19 yards. As I mentioned, Polk near 150 yards rushing on the evening.
2nd and 16. Coos, the ball carrier. The 6'1", 215-pound senior fullback. He gets a few. 3rd down. Let's call it 3rd and 12. All right, from the 44. Mike Moore, the quarterback. That pass is incomplete over Aaron Alexander's head.
Well, the TV40 football schedule for 1996 is not complete until midnight, Saturday night, November the 9th. That's tomorrow night. You'll see Anderson University and the Wabash College Little Giants right here on TV40. That'll be from very chilly Mockholt Stadium tomorrow. Howard, dress warmly.
I will, and Wabash has had a pretty good season to this point.
They certainly have. Anderson's kind of been up and down this year.
Anderson has struggled in the conference, is unbeaten outside of the conference. Wabash only has lost 1 game this season. Little screen to the left, incomplete. Incomplete, intended for Charlie Kirby.
Well, it was a middle screen pass set up there by Moore to Kirby. Moore's pass a little bit long. Kirby had the blocking in front of him, but poorly executed on the pass.
2:12 left, 3rd quarter. So the Greyhounds will take over. They are leading 46-7. A couple of weeks ago, we had Northwestern defeating Alexandria 75-6. Meek on a give to Polk. He doesn't go down easily.
Yep, stopped right about the line of scrimmage there. And you look at this this team, this Carmel Ball Club, and obviously well coached by Jim Belden in his 17th year at Carmel. He's won 161 games and lost 32. He's coached the Carmel Greyhounds to 4 state championships. I would say relatively soon we'll see Jim Belden enshrined in the Indiana High School Football Hall of Fame at Richmond, without a doubt, Howard Kelly.
You're right, and his overall record with Westfield, Noblesville, and Carmel, 281, 79, and 2. They give it to Polk again.
Well, I remember Jim Belden when he was at Noblesville High School because I was a player that played against a Jim Belden coach team at Noblesville, and we used to have some very good matches, Alexandria and Noblesville, back in those years, the mid to late 70s. And Belden had a team in 79 after I got out of high school that played the Blackford County Bruins in a state championship at that time, a smaller class, I believe 3A would be at this particular time, and they were state runner-ups.
We're under a minute to go in the third. The clock is running. Polk again to the 43. Well, I broadcast the Noblesville games in 1977, so I knew Jim back then.
Yeah, that kind of puts us all in the act there, doesn't it? I played against him, and you were broadcasting the games.
Yep. Still doesn't change the score tonight. It's 46 to 7.
That was probably not correct.
Justin Weintraub in the punt. Gets his leg into it. Good bounce for Carmel. And that is the end of the third quarter. Carmel 46, Kokomo 7. We'll be back in just a moment. Fourth and final period. And there are the whistles. Penalty marker down. Kokomo trailing 46 to 7. Offside against Carmel.
Well, if our cameras can pick it up, it looks like a very wet snow that is falling. It's melting as soon as it hits the field, and winter's not too far behind, and we're nearing the end of WHMB's TV 40 high school schedule for the year. Of course, there you take a look at the lights and you see some of the snow coming down.
Yeah, but that still doesn't change the score. I'm just kidding. It's been a rough night for the Wildcats. This pitch out off the option. Kirby to throw. It is incomplete. Incomplete. Paul Barrett upset the intended receiver.
Third quarter stats, first downs through three quarters. Carmel has 20 first downs through the third quarter. Kokomo 6. Rushing yardage, Carmel 39 carries, 255 yards through the third quarter. Kokomo 23 carries, 107 yards. Penalties, check this out, Howard. 8 penalties against Carmel, 95 yards. 4 penalties for 60 yards against Kokomo.
I would say that Carmel has overcome those penalties. Mike Moore, the quarterback. Johnson to the 31, where he's brought down. In there to make the stop, John Rolling for Carmel. First down for the Wildcats. Fourth and final quarter.
Well, it's been an outstanding season for the Kokomo Wildcats as this fourth quarter is going to wind down. They beat the likes of East Chicago Central, Muncie Central, Lafayette, Jeff, Newcastle, Richmond, Logansport, Marion, and Anderson. The ladders there from the North Central Conference. In the playoffs, they defeated Noblesville and North Central.
It has been a great year, as you pointed out. Kokomo playing Carmel for the 4th time ever. Carmel has won the 3 previous meetings. We talked about the snow a moment ago. It is extremely windy. Clock running. We are under 11 minutes. Second down for the Wildcats. Ball at the 37. 2nd and 3. Aaron Alexander, the ball carrier. Down to the 47-yard line of Carmel.
That was a beautiful run by Alexander as he shot right through the hole while it was open, and Alexander, a 6'1" senior, picking up a first down for Kokomo.
16 yards at that.
Take a look at the replay here. Moore takes the snap from center, hands off on the misdirection to Aaron Alexander, steps through some traffic, and showing some good acceleration through there, and it really was a jersey-saving tackle there. Alexander might have been in for 6 if not for that jersey-saving tackle.
Well, Charlie Kirby, the ball carrier, good gain there, down to the 39-yard line.
At this point in time, a look out this Carmel defense, and Howard, we have wholesale substitutions in for the Carmel Greyhounds.
Clock running. We're at 9:45 to go in the game. Carmel leading 46-7. Kokomo with the ball. Kokomo at one point led 7-0. Johnson brought down at the line of scrimmage. He may have fumbled. He did, and Carmel recovers.
In on the fumble recovery for the Carmel Greyhounds was number 97. That is Joseph Kohler, 6'4", 228-pound junior linebacker. There is the handoff, and Andre loses the ball even before he got to the line of scrimmage. Just comes sliding out. Kohler with the fumble recovery for Carmel.
Just looked as if he lost the ball without being hit. So first down for the Greyhounds. Nick Blake, number 12, now is in there at quarterback for Carmel. Mark Roth, running back, 5'10", 160-pound senior. The ball carrier, there he is, number 5.
Well, Howard, I'm looking down for some stats on Mr. Blake, Nick Blake, a junior quarterback. I don't have anything to report. Do you?
Yes, I'll tell you, he's 6 feet, 170 pounds. Wearing number 12.
Tail of the tape measure is about it.
Second and 10 from the 39. Roth again to the midfield stripe and into Carmel territory, into Kokomo territory rather, at the 49-yard line. We'll pause for these words.
Stop at number 21, Jai Roberts.
Back in. First and 10 for the Greyhounds. Roth again. Roth for another first down. Penalty marker down at the 36-yard line. A pickup of 13 yards. There it is, holding against Carmel.
Well, Roth, I do have some information on Mark Roth. He's a senior running back. He's carried the ball 60 times for 285 yards coming into this sectional championship game against Kokomo. Average 4.8 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. So he does have some contributions this year for the Carmel Greyhounds.
Thank you for that insight.
A lot of times, some of these players that don't always get all the press and the media deserve to be mentioned, and obviously Mark Roth's played his share of downs this year.
Oh, you're exactly right. And as I said, we thank you. Ball at the 50. Blake gives it to Roth again.
Roth on the carry.
Well, earlier it was Polk, and now with the game out of reach, they're giving it to Roth.
Of course, we're looking at Carmel next week as they advance on in the 5A sectional number 4 playoffs, going to that Fort Wayne regional next week against the winner of Fort Wayne Snyder and Homestead. And when you go up there to Fort Wayne, you normally take on some very talented teams that are big, and they love to run the football.
So here are the Greyhounds, leading 46-7. And they're down to the 41-yard line. Ian Ricketson, the ball carrier, a 6'1", 200-pound junior.
Correction, it was number 49, Ian Ricketson.
There he is, number 49, Ian Ricketson.
There's a handoff to Ian as he cracks right up through the middle, and it looks like they're not going to miss anything at fullback with Ricketson filling in next year. He's only a junior this year.
Eric Baker made the tackle for Kokomo. And they start the clock again after the brief officials' timeout. There's Nick Blake, the quarterback, barking out those signals. Running that clock. Ricketson again. And brought down at about the 35-yard line.
Well, when the Wildcat fans look back at this 1996 football campaign, Kokomo undefeated 7-0 in the NCC, the North Central Conference, 5th undefeated regular season since 5th undefeated regular season, first since 1964. So it's been a while since they've had an undefeated season, 32 years. And Dondre Johnson is the all-time leading rusher also that they're going to pull out of the season. A very positive year for Kokomo football.
Well, they've been averaging 418 yards per game going into this game. Roth, the ball carrier. Carmel has shut him down tonight.
Roth on the carry.
Dondre, as I mentioned, Dondre Johnson holds the Kokomo High School career rushing record, 3,204, touchdowns scored 40, points scored 240. Johnson also holds the single game rushing record of 264 yards set against Richmond Red Devils last season. So, you know, a lot of positives coming out of this year.
Clock running, we are under 5 minutes. Carmel leading 46-7. They go down to about the 30. Roth, the ball carrier again. Mark Roth, and we'll pause for these words.
Roth, the ball carrier.
Third down and 5. Play back in. Nick Blake, the quarterback, calling timeout.
Timeout, Carmel.
So a timeout called by the Greyhounds.
Don't forget, Howard Kelman and yours truly will have college football on TV 40 tomorrow night at midnight, November the 9th, as the Anderson University Ravens play host to the Wabash College Little Giants. Airtime is 12 o'clock midnight. And Wabash, as Howard mentioned, only losing one game to this point as they do battle with Anderson tomorrow. And all I've got to say to Howard Kelman is dress warmly. Bring the Long Johns and the hot chocolate, Howard.
You know, I did that this evening, too.
The Long Johns or the hot chocolate?
I don't have any hot chocolate with me.
Make sure you bring the thermos tomorrow, Howard. That's your job.
That's my job. Thank you for those responsibilities.
We've got to delegate them as we see fit, Howard, and hot chocolate seems to be the number one priority.
I admire the fact that you know how to delegate authority.
That's what was handed down to me from our executive producer, Dennis Casey.
But he's not going to be there tomorrow.
That's why it was handed down.
Oh, okay. All right, play back in. Nick Blake, the quarterback, on 3rd and 5. Ricketson down to the 21-yard line.
Ricketson on the
And the
carry.
Greyhounds have picked up another first down.
Brought down
There he
by
is, Ian Ricketson.
First down.
Well, this is the first opportunity I've had to see the Carmel Greyhounds football team in person since the 1994 regular season game on TV 40 that I worked with Barry Krause. And Barry and I had Carmel and Noblesville. And Carmel very impressive even 2 years ago.
3:40 left to go in the game. 46-7, Carmel threatening for more. Mark Roth
Roth on the carry.
to the 13-yard line.
Stopped by number 22, Drew Roberts.
There is Mark Roth, the 5'10", 160-pound senior.
Let's take a look at the replay. The handoff goes to Roth. He runs off of right tackle. Big gainer. He's all the way down now inside the Kokomo 15, Howard.
We're at the 3-minute mark. The clock is running. Long count as they run off the time. Roth again, nowhere this time.
Well, Kokomo's going to bow out this season at 10-1 overall. They went through an undefeated season. They're 5th in the school's history, the first since 1964. Dondre Johnson setting all kinds of rushing and scoring marks for this Kokomo ball club, but they ran into a buzzsaw tonight in the Carmel Greyhounds led by Shannon Polk.
All Carmel tonight. Greyhounds ranked 6th. Wildcats coming in were ranked 4th. Blake to Ricketson down at the 4-yard line. Well, I tell you that,
Ricketson.
you want to call it snow or rain, whatever it is, it's picked up in intensity.
First down.
2 minutes to go. Clock running. You can see it on your
First and goal for
screen.
Carmel on the 4-yard line.
It is coming down, no doubt about it, and it's increased in intensity as the game's worn on, too.
These conditions are not good. And they don't get the play off. They'll take the delay of game penalty.
Delay of game penalty.
Carmel trying to 50 mark here, Howard, if they can get it in.
Stops the clock at 1:34 to go. Clock is running. And Blake goes down on the knee.
Well, he's just probably going to have to kneel down about maybe one, possibly two more times.
Okay, John, been a pleasure working with you on high school football this season.
Right, we've got one more college game tomorrow night at midnight, Anderson University and Wabash College. I'll see you at Mock-Holt Stadium tomorrow, Howard.
Okay, our thanks to our entire crew, executive producer Dennis Casey, director Jeff Elliott and company. Under 50 seconds as Blake goes down on the knee. Clock running, 35 seconds to go. Carmel leading 46-7. "20 seconds, clock is running. And that is going to do it. Clock running down, 5 seconds to go. And that is it. The Carmel Greyhounds have defeated the Kokomo Wildcats 46-7. For John Fox and our entire crew, I'm Howard Kellman. Good night, everybody.